Hey there, this is Michelle, and I wanted to go on and get this video made because I keep getting a lot of questions now that I've appeared on Dr. Eric Berg's Keto and Intermittent Fasting show. So, let's see here. How do you do it? Dr. Berg has over 1,000 videos all dealing with ketosis and recently a lot of intermittent fasting. Now, I will say that there is a book that you can also get that is called The Obesity Code, and it's by Dr. Fung, F-U-N-G, yes, Dr. Fung, that will give you so much data and understanding even how and why and the evolution of how they started learning that this would be a way to help. Well, when he started working with kidney failure, diabetes, and epilepsy, and found that this diet really did a lot to help reverse the signs and the symptoms of those particular ailments. But then they started noticing that it was helping just people all over. And so the Obesity Code, that is a book, you can get it on Amazon, digitally as well as paperback or physical. And Dr. Berg does a lot of videos. You can go to his YouTube, and his name is spelled B-E-R-G. Dr. Eric, E-R-I-C, B-E-R-G, Berg, Dr. Eric Berg. He's on YouTube. His website is drberg.com, I believe. Just Google it. Okay, and you'll find it. And so I appeared on there, and after that I've been getting a lot of questions. So let's get to it. How I started out, well, I started out January 1st, 2017, and it is currently July 21st, 2017, and I have released, I think, about 63 pounds so far. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to step back a little bit. But I have released over 9 pounds, and you guys, I'm not wearing any kind of cincher or anything like that. I wish I was taller, and so bear with me. I know this doesn't help you a lot, but let's see. I'm going to break my neck here trying to. Anyway, belly is it's getting flat, okay? So since I started, I have released around 9 inches off of my waist, and I am in a U.S. loose 10 now. Yeah, loose 10, because when I started, I think I probably needed to be in a 20, but I was in a really tight 18, and I was like 249 pounds, and I'm only almost 5'6", just under 5'6". All right, so how I started, the first week, all I did was just really try to concentrate on no sugar. And in order to do that, I really used a lot of the recipes that I found from Dr. Berg, as well as online, like ruled.me, RULED.me is a good site. On YouTube, Keto Connect. If you just look at Keto Connect, they have a great site. I really like their recipes as well. So what I did is to start getting myself off of sugar, because I was a sugar addict. I really started embracing the different sugars. Now, I started with xylitol, and I still use xylitol. But what I found is if you mix xylitol and I should have gotten that one to show you which one I use. But if you use xylitol with stevia, yeah, I like this one. It doesn't seem to have as much of a bitter taste. With the drops, it really helps with the sugar. And I will say xylitol with stevia mixed is one of the closest that I have found to a sugar taste. Now, I also found this, and I normally don't do Splenda because that's sucralose, but they have one called Naturals, And with the naturals, what it is it's erythritol and stevia. So I use this one. Let's see here if you can. I use this one, and like I said, it's just stevia and erythritol. I think I'm murdering that. But you can use that. And like I said, I use that like in my smoothie. And I only use one packet of it. And those are packets. I use one packet of that in my smoothie. And I'm going to talk about my smoothie recipe because somebody asked for that too. Erythritol. Erythritol doesn't have, let's see if I can get that. It doesn't have as much of a sugar taste. It does kind of have a cooling kind of taste. But when you mix it with stevia in a recipe, it's normally just fine. And I have started moving more towards the erythritol because it doesn't have as much of an insulin spike. And with an insulin spike, you want to avoid that at all costs because that's kind of throwing you out of ketosis. All right, so ketosis is not ketoacidosis. And it is not the bad kind that, will put you in a diabetic coma. What it is it's, in layman's terms, because I am very layman on this, it moves you from relying on the closest, the glucose, fructose, and all that kind of stuff to burn for energy, and moves you into burning your fat reserves. And so getting into ketosis means you're releasing and burning ketones, which means that you are burning the fat stores from the body. Okay? So, what I did my first few months is, like I said, I started really trying to replace a lot of my sugar because I'm going to tell you, for me, it was really hard to try to get off of sugar cold turkey. Some people can do it. I couldn't. And I was chewing a lot of gum. Don't do that. Even if the gum says it only has 2 carbs, if you know that you're going to be chewing a lot of gum, getting that sugar burst, even if it is xylitol, is still going to trigger sugar. And you're still going to either be in very low grade ketosis or not at all. I mean, let's face it, my first few weeks, I was like chewing 20 to 30 pieces a day because I just had to have that because I was such a snacker. All right, so now let me move on. Let me move on. I got this at, like I think Walmart or Target, something like that. And these are large. But what I did was to help me with my candy cravings, because I was really having a lot of candy cravings. I got this. This is a silicone mold. You can get it online as well. And now this is not the right one. I'm going to come back to it. But you can get unflavored gelatin. And I got a recipe where I learned how to make my own gummies, or gummy bears. What I did is I went and I got, now I love cinnamon. You can get different flavors, but I was able to get this actually at Walmart in the wedding making aisle. Okay, let me put that up close so you can see it. So this is Lorraine's. Can you see that, you guys? That's Lorraine's, and it's cinnamon oil. And it's, it's just the oil. It's no sweetener or anything like that. And one of these is called a dram, D-R-A-M. And you can get them in all different flavors. I've only seen peppermint and cinnamon at Walmart, but you can get these. And you take that, some erythritol, some stevia, water, and gelatin, unflavored gelatin. And then you pour it in the mold, put it in your fridge for about an hour, pop them out. You can put them in a bag, in a jar, and they'll keep in the refrigerator for about up to 2 weeks. And so, like, when I travel and stuff, if I know I'm not going to be able to get good food, I mean, I'll make those. I'll have my cheese, my nuts, and things like that. And so it really helps. Now, I will say, I lived off of these. I didn't live off of them, but I would have one with each one of my meals so that I felt like I was still getting sugar. And let me hurry up because I don't want this to be too long, but I'm really trying to show you guys some of the stuff I did because I feel you. And I was in the same place and I wanted to know as much as I could. So my first 3 months, I still kind of snacked. I didn't do exactly like I should have, but I still lost weight. And I wasn't exercising because it was cold outside. Some of the other things that I did for snacks. Now, Parm Crisp. What these are, this is what it looks like. It's a little chip. And it's just Parmesan cheese. They have different flavors, but it's just Parmesan cheese. And it has no carbs. No fiber, no sugar, but no carbs. And one serving of these is like 15. I can't do 15. I can do like maybe 10. And I mean, because it's cheese. So you can have these if you're like really needing the chip kind of thing. Now I got mine at like Sam's, but you can get them different places. And like I said, it's Parm chips, oven baked Parm chips. All right, let's see, what's another thing? Okay. Apple cider vinegar. Yes, I do apple cider vinegar. I was asked that question too. Forgot to bring my bottle over here, but we have this place called Aldi here, and I love Aldi, and I just use their organic, unfiltered with the mother. But I mean, if in a pinch, just get some apple cider vinegar. And I run out of lemons, so I'll squeeze fresh lemons. And so what I do, don't follow me, I'm just telling you what I do. But I only do it twice a day, and I take a half cup of water. And I'll do 2 tablespoons of my apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon. You can get the lemon that comes in the little thingies. I don't like it. I just don't like them. So what I did was, as a backup, like if I'm going somewhere or whatever, I'll use these. True Lemon. And it's lemon. It's crystallized lemon. And I find that this is better a lot of times than the ones that come in the little lemon squeezy thingies. And one of these is equivalent to a wedge. So I'll use that as well. All right. Let me talk about my kale shake. Now, for me, I do kale and spinach. And I have one of those every day with my meal. And the reason why I do that is now I am 1 meal a day. So, in my one meal, I'm usually trying to strive for 1,200 to 1,600 calories. And I want to also get in my daily allowance of those 7 cups of veggies. So, in my smoothie, I do 2 ounces of kale, because 1 ounce per Dr. Berg, an ounce of leaves is equivalent to a cup. So I'll do 2 ounces of kale, 1 ounce of spinach. I'll use one of these, and I'll use a cup of unsweetened almond milk. Now, I have worked up to, I didn't start off on it, but I have worked up to an ounce of blueberries, and I do frozen, and an ounce of strawberries, and I do frozen. So I do frozen strawberries and blueberries, and I'm gonna be honest with you, an ounce of strawberries frozen is maybe 2 or 3 little small ones. So we're not talking a lot. And then I'll use, now I put protein in, and I'm using this one right now. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying this is what I'm using. It's a whey protein isolate. If you're a vegan, this is not for you because whey is made out of animal byproducts. But if you're vegetarian, you can do it, you know, because it's whey, you know, cheese and stuff. All right, so I do a half scoop of that. And I do this one because I'm not trying to count calories, but the carbs. It has only 1 carb, as opposed to some of the other ones that have like 13. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm using that. So let me go back over that quick little recipe. I'm not writing this down. You guys rewind this, okay? You can do that. If you want this bad enough, you can do that. Okay, so 2 ounces of kale, 1 ounce of spinach, 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk, 1 packet of stevia or 1 squeeze of stevia, half scoop of protein or scoop, depending on where you are, what you need, and 1 ounce of frozen blueberries, 1 ounce of frozen strawberries. Blend, and that makes, in my blender, that makes about 24 ounces, which is a good amount. That is in addition to a salad that I'll have, like a medium salad, to make sure I get my other 4 cups of greens. And I make my own salad dressing. With my salad dressing for my sweetener, I'll use xylitol and some of that. But what I do is I use Bragg's amino acids, balsamic vinegar, olive oil, lemon juice, some of the sweetener, a little bit of salt. I use Himalayan pink salt, garlic, onion, and sometimes I'll put ginger in it. Mix it up, put it in a mason jar, and that's my salad dressing. Actually, I make a quart of it, so that's enough for like almost a month or more for me, eating a salad every day. All right, another thing, talking about salads. So, I was asked about supplements. One of my go-tos now, thanks to Dr. Berg. So, you know, if you were like me, I had a lot of leg cramps and stuff, and I'm sorry, you guys, it's kind of itching my neck. So, so what I have done is I have started incorporating nutritional yeast, and all I do is I just go online and I'll buy it and put it in a Ziploc or a plastic container, keep it fresh, still in the bag, and I'll use a tablespoon of this. And so what I do is I use a tablespoon of that over my salad, and it kind of has like a cheddar cheese kind of taste, but what it does is it's going to give you those B vitamins, and it's really going to help boost a lot of the things I find that women need. Okay, some other things that I use, because I was asked about my supplements. All right, so I take D3 and K2. Let me put those up here. This one is 10,000 IUs for the D3, and this one is 100 mcgs of the K2. And so I take one of each of those a day to stay regular. Chew celery. And I do Fiber Advanced Gummies. I do the berry flavor. And these are sugar-free. They do have about 2 carbs per serving, and a serving is 2 of these. I'm going to show you what one of them looks like. It's that size. Okay? You take 2 of those. Okay? Another thing that I've just recently started with my smoothies to really help me get power packed. Now, I'm going to tell you, this does not taste good, but if you really want to make sure that you're doing your veggies, because I mean, there are some days I just can't get a salad in on top of my smoothie. So what I do is I'll add in a scoop of green superfood. This is not a substitute for the real thing. This is just a boost, just a supplement. It does not replace, but it will help. For joints, you guys, I have many waters under my bridge. You know, I have no problems telling people that. And so I want to make sure that I have good bone health and joint health and all of that, because I mean, you know, I'm out there walking on these trails and, you know, slogging a little bit now that, you know, I'm not carrying as much around. And I want to make sure that I have very good health. So what I also do now is I take collagen. And what I'll do is I have this great little quick recipe that helps me get in my fats. And so I'll put in a good tablespoon of this. And this is the non-jellified collagen gelatin. So it's going to mix clear, and it's not going to turn into a jelly. Great Lakes is a great brand. The red orangey one, that one is the gelatin that you can use, like I said, to make your gummies. All right, so I do that. You guys, I didn't mean for this to go this long. Okay, I've shown you a lot of the stuff that I use. I'm going to tell you, when I started out, I was still doing, I was still snacking. I was never really good at the 3 meals because I just wasn't. So I'm going to say that I would probably eat around 3 to 4 times a day. But that, sorry you guys, but what I did find was that some of it, sorry about that, some of it was just snacking whenever. Like, I had a habit of, before I go to bed, just stick something in my mouth. You know, I brush my teeth afterwards, but just stick something in my mouth. I don't do it anymore. So now I have moved towards intermittent fasting. I still eat keto, and I eat intermittent fasting, and I have 1 meal a day. My meals are usually sometimes between 2 and 6. Now, what I do is I do what I call one big meal, but I spread it out over a few hours. So I'll have, and I don't know why, but I like to end with my smoothie instead. So I'll have my big, you know, not big, but my main meal, all my vitamins, all of that stuff, and my cheese, my nuts. And I'm gonna tell you, if you're getting constipation with this, eat more veggies and reduce the amount of nuts that you take in. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I'll eat that, let it digest a little bit, and then I'll finish off with my smoothie. Between that eating window, I do not eat. I don't. People have asked me about coffee. First of all, I don't like coffee. I don't drink it. I never drank it. So that's not an issue for me. If you are intermittent fasting, some people say you can have the cream, but cream has some food value to it. So you're kind of really eating outside of your window if you're doing cream. I don't want you to say, oh, you know, don't send me hate mail, because I'm not gonna even deal with it. But what I'm gonna say is for me, I drink water. Well, actually, I drink seltzer water. So I drink water when I'm not eating in that window. I just do water, period. In that window, that's when I take my vitamins. That's when I do my eating and all of that. Exercise. My first 3 months, like I said, it was probably more due to the weather because I walked a little bit. But I started walking slowly. My goal at first was to get up to a mile. Now, when I exercise, and I exercise every day, I still walk, and now I've taken to where I call it slogging, which is kind of like a fast walk. I'm going to move into doing some weights as well, but right now my weight kind of stuff is, you know, sporadic. And I normally walk after I eat. So like I said, I'm eating somewhere between 2 and 6 p.m. and then I am exercising somewhere it's summertime right now, so longer days, so it's probably around 7 or 8 in there that I stop and I exercise, because I kind of like have my day where I work, I eat, I exercise, I clean up, and then I spend a few more hours finishing up for the day. So that's about it. Like I said before, you do what works for you. I've had people ask me, you know, can they do intermittent fasting and eat more than once a day? Yes, you can. What it is you're using time as your construct for how you're going to do your intermittent fasting. So mine would look more like 20 hours of non-eating, 4 hours where I do eat. Well, actually, mine is more like around 2 hours. But that's my metabolism. That's what I want. That's where I feel the best and satiated in my lifestyle, because I don't want to be cooking all the time. But if, for instance, you want to do intermittent fasting, you still can live almost a fairly traditional lifestyle doing it. So say, for instance, you're going to do what people call the 16-8, meaning that you have 16 hours where you're not eating, and you have 8 hours where you can eat. That's simple enough. If you start, say for instance, you start at 10 a.m. and you have your breakfast. Have your breakfast at 10. You can have your lunch at 2, and then you can have your final meal at 6. That's usually around the time that's still acceptable if you're wanting to eat with others and be very social. And that still keeps you in your 8-hour window. Okay? You can play around with it. For some people, instead of doing the 16-8, they do a 24. So if they have a meal at noon, Then they'll cap it off with another meal at 4. If you want to get 3 meals in, you can do it. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Don't make it hard. But listen to your body. All right? So I think that's what I wanted to say. All right, so let me recap, because I like to recap. Okay, I've shown you some of the stuff I use. One of the things that I'm going to say, especially for women, the main difference I found between this and like your Atkins or your paleo is go for moderate protein. Be careful, because your body can turn too much protein into a sugar replacement, so you don't want to do that. Also, you don't want to do too much fat, because your liver, your kidneys and your liver, you don't want to tax it like that. And another thing, make sure, especially if you're female, get in your apple cider vinegar, because that's going to help flush out your kidneys and your liver. You can look that up in many of the videos that Dr. Berg has done. It also helps with digestion. I don't know why it really helps us with our stomach, circumference, but it does. I mean, I can't argue with 9 inches off of my waistline. I just cannot. Protein, like I said, watch it. So if you notice the way they call this, they say high fat, low carb. I'm going to say moderate fat, moderate carb. Moderate fat, moderate protein, low carb. That's what I'm going to say. And that's another reason why, even with the types of protein I tend to use, I'm like using a half. If you have the MyFitnessPal and you want to use it to track and see, do. You can go online. There's so much research. You don't have to just do it one way. You don't have to do it the way I say. This is just simply me telling you what I've done to get to this point. The superfood, super greens, to anticipate, you guys, this is it's like 30 calories for a little serving, and this one is new, so I'm not going to open it up real quick. But the thing I like about this is, even though it's superfoods, it's only 4 carbs, so it's only 4 carbs. My fiber gummies are only 2. All this other stuff that I showed you, like my chips, no carbs. And I think that's it. Like I said, I didn't want to bring all this stuff. Okay, I gotta go put it back in the kitchen. So that should help you with the food, with my exercise, my water. Dr. Berg does not preach a lot about water. He's like, if you're thirsty, drink. For me, I tend to do better if I have 8 ounces of water. 8 glasses or more of water a day. So that's just a habit of mine. I am a water drinker. So I do drink water. I do my apple cider vinegar 2 times a day. You can do it 3, usually on an empty stomach or right before bed, or empty stomach right before you eat. And like I said, I do 4 ounces of water with it, because I don't want to be drinking that forever. And when you're first starting out, it may make your stomach feel a little icky, but just eat afterwards and you'll be fine. And I think that's it. Thank you so much. Sorry I didn't want this to be so long, but there you have it. And leave me comments, subscribe. Let me put my disclaimer in here. I am not a doctor. I do not profess to be a professional. If you disagree with anything I have shown you, keep it to yourself and don't do it. Okay? Just that. I'm going to say one little thing. I was apprehensive of doing this video, because I have seen how so many people are monitor warriors, where they will say stuff to people behind a monitor that they would never say to their face. So I'm going to say this. Anything that I have said that you don't agree with, let's agree to disagree. But I'm not going there, because I live a blissful life, and I'm just not going there. All right? So anyway, there you go. I hope this helps you. For those of you who it resonates with, great. For those of you who it doesn't, great. And have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.